So, hello everybody, and this is going to be a part 2 for the best Zealot paladin that you can make. So, a lot of feedback, and this warranted me to make a part 2. I definitely thought I had pretty much thought of every scenario when I posted the first part, but let's take a look now at the revisit guide, just a few updates that makes it, slightly better in terms of also just collecting feedback from you guys, yeah. I was surprised at the amount of feedback that I got, because I was pretty sure I had nailed this one just like the Yavason guide that I did recently. But let's continue with this one and see what we can change. Right, let's first take a look at stats here. As a lot of people suggested, I should just ditch the strength amount, put it into vitality. I have to agree. I'm only getting like 1 max damage per strength, and I think it was every 2 strength that I got 1 to minimum damage. 500 extra life is also not a lot, but I figured I would follow this suggestion, and yeah, let's leave it at that. I was also able to get plenty of attack rating without putting points into blessed aims, as a lot of people suggested. Raw points into blessed aim will give you like, was it 300, 250 attack rating per point. It does help out a lot, but I didn't really need it. Currently I'm also only max block using this shield that I'm going to be talking about a bit later, and heal the second room. So I saved a bit of dexterity just to make it even more viable for the 2 shields that I will mostly focus on in this video. But yeah, that also means that I'm using less dexterity currently as from the last part. But besides that, stats are not changed that much. Resistance has, but we will cover that in a bit. Let's also take a quick look at these skills. Nothing much has changed. People suggested that I should perhaps use Sanctuary for undead immunities and stuff, but I didn't really feel like it. Conviction is also another aura you could consider, but again, it's very situational and don't really bother with it. Again, if you need attack rating, you're gonna get like 200 to 300 attack rating per point into blessed aim. It's an option. I was able to get a bit more points into Fanatismo with the current gear that I'm using, so that's nice. Easily able to, cap attack rating now with, I think it's actually less than 10 attack speed now, so I'm well above the fastest break point now for increased attack speed. And defensive auras or combat skills have obviously also not changed much. Again, I still want to max for Holy Shield and that stuff for defense, but that's it. Right then, let's take a look at the gear. The first part I will show off is the belt. Person, or maybe more, actually suggested I should use a tri-race belt, and I completely agree on that one. I simply just forgot about it. It's the way better option. I'm actually using a tri-race belt, not as good as this one obviously, on live on my furry druid. It's definitely a very good option if you need to stack resistance, and you perhaps don't need like something like leech or attack speed, pierce or whatever the other normal belts can give you. So basically we're using this build for getting some resistance, and I should note that this build is pretty freaking overpowered. But yeah, I found actually a thread on JSP that was selling these exact stats, just a bit less life, and I made this one just slightly stronger with the life. Honestly, I think this one can even roll up to like 30 strength and 60 life, maybe even more resistance. So it's not a GG thing, but this is definitely a good Trios belt, just to kind of give you an example of what a belt like this one could be like if you really found something decent. And let's all just cover the amulet here. Highlights Wrath. People just kept suggesting this one, and I agree. The Highlights Wrath just gives so much damage stats, and it's hard to go without. The lightning resistance is also pretty sweet. So yeah, just go with Highlights Wrath. It's more damage, but again, if you really do need like safety stats, Metal Grid's an option, and Armageddon's is also fun for faster cast rate setups, but I ended up ditching that idea. And now with less faster cast rate overall my gear, I also went and removed the faster cast rate on one of the rings here. So this one just got changed to lifesteal instead. A ring can have up to, was it 11 or 12% lifesteal as the highest, so went with just a 9%, and same resistance on this one, I think it was. And then the other ring is also unchanged. I think I just moved this over to strength instead of dexterity. But yeah, a leech ring on a dual leech and a leech ring. The idea behind changing this one out to not have faster cast rate is now to survive on player's 8 without a life tap. I don't think I can possibly do that in all scenarios. I can maybe do like an easy map where the density is not too high, but if I face a lot of problems, I don't think I can do player sake without lifetap. But let's see about it. And let's also just quickly talk about the gloves. One person commented that these gloves could actually also roll with lifesteal on them, so 20% increased attack speed, 3% life leads, crushing blow, and then the adds on top of that, and I think I could even roll with life. I just ended up removing the life because I felt like that was already too overpowered. But yeah, theoretically you can craft gloves that rolls with these stats here, plus life as well. That would be pretty amazing to just get all the stats in one roll, even if low stats overall. And then I'm still using Enigma. I want to utilize Enigma and Spirit Switch. A lot of people would just say, oh, just ditch the idea, it's not worth it, low faster cast rate now and etc. But Enigma in PvM, I'm not gonna talk about that much, you know, it's an opinion thing. Some people don't need teleport for PvM or whatever. I just want it for, you know, all cases. So yeah, I'm going still with Enigma. But I will, however, note that, you know, capping resistance, getting more damage, getting more survival, etc, etc, using fortitude, maybe even a changed runner if you're like doing Ubers or whatever. Those armors are brilliant for those sort of situations. But I feel like just losing out of teleport kind of ruins the fun of this build. You know, the whole point of using Enigma and to make it work with Enigma is to have the possible high stats on all the other items like this crazy Trials build and so forth. I really just want to make Enigma work even with all its shortcomings. You know, it's a sacrifice to get teleport. Whether that sacrifice is worth it is up to yourself, your own opinion and so forth. And so then, let's talk about the big one, the shield. This shield here, in the description below, as I talked about before, all stuff is gonna be found there, links, everything. This one was up for 80,000 FG, I think it was in the thread that I have below in the description. It is a legit spawned shield. That gems, the jewels, however, those are questionable. The jewels, yeah, I found an on-perm seller. You know, there are socket services on JSP. This is like a whole new topic, but if you don't know about it, a lot of gems will poof on you if you don't socket them into items right away when you're in a game before you leave it and so forth. So what a lot of seller sites, a lot of dupers, etc, they will do if they do crazy duels, they will socket the item for you, and then you can leave the game and the duel will not fade from your gear or whatever. And the duel here, I think it was for, was it 300? No, it was for 800 FG per duel. This is the top tier melee duel that you can get. It's 30% enhanced damage, 9 strength, 9 dexterity, was it 60 attack rating, etc. This duel is, yeah, it's imported probably, it's probably mass duped in some way. It's definitely not really clean, but yeah. You can get variations of this duel with probably the exact same stats, just with less stats overall. This was just perfect stats in the duel itself. So yeah, this shield here is theoretically, it is legit, it is possible to get, but it would be crazily expensive, and it would be probably one of the hardest items to get in Diablo 2. Or at least for optimal Zealot Paladin gear, the shield would be the hardest part to get out of all options that I can think about. Maybe like a crazy PvP helm or crazy PvP amulet would also be a little bit hard, but I would think the shield would be the most expensive and hardest really to get. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about these shields here. Phoenix, a lot of people did the idea of me using Phoenix just because of the Firestorm proc, and I agree, it's annoying to play with. However, Phoenix still has its place, especially like in PvP where you can hope to just one-shot your opponent with a crazy amount of damage. I'm not gonna rule out Phoenix not as a viable choice also for PvM. However, it is not the best, as I also talked about in part 1. And then Exile. If we can live without lifetap, I'm still gonna claim that, yeah, then I'm gonna say that Exile is not that good to have, but Yeah, I don't think I can do play safe without lifetap, but let's see. But yeah, I'm still not gonna say that you should use Dracools, because then you lose out on these amazing gloves stats here. You know, crushing blow, etc, etc. Exile just enable us to get, you know, crazy stats from a shield in the first place, and then we don't have to deal with using shitty Dracool gloves and losing out on stats from these ones here. So that's kind of why we're also using Exile, just because again the overall better stats. But let's talk about this here, the second room. A lot of people are gonna say this is by default the best sealer, the best smite shield, etc. This also is an upgraded ethereal one with a sword rune. Perfect defense. I think I got pretty close to perfect defense roll or whatever. But yeah, in the description below I'm also gonna leave a link for a shield debate, which goes into great details, you know, way in depth. If you even understand what's like going on in that link, you know, reading about it, etc. It's a little bit of a math thing as well. I'm not that skilled at math in general, but basically he calculates that a rare shield with you know, certain bases, etc. is going to be more damage, etc. But I'm not really gonna talk too much about that, because that would bore a lot of people. So I'm just gonna say go read in the description below if you need more information, especially on rare paladin shields, which can be a long debate. But yeah, the description below, the link was actually excellent written, one of the best shield guides in Diablo 2 for sure. So yeah, very nice. Anywho, this is just gonna be a simple one here. Look at the damage, look at the attack rating, look at the, you know, the stats, etc. I'm losing a lot of damage with Hail the Sacred Room. I'm capping my resistance easily. I'm also losing a lot of attack rating. That's basically, this is a personal choice. If I'm comfortable with my resistance, you know, I got nice fire resistance, I got nice lightning resistance, I can deal with shitty cold resistance and poison resistance. If I'm fine with that, if I'm okay with that, why would I use Hail the Sacred Room? I'm gonna get less damage, I'm gonna get less attack rating, less defense, etc. For me, it's not worth using. I can't say why anyone will consider Hail the Sacred Room, even over something like Exile. That's maybe a bit of a harsh choice. However, here comes another point that I would want to stress. This shield here is ridiculously hard to get. It's ridiculously expensive, and you know, it's out of the scope for anyone who isn't really into trading in Diablo 2, who is maybe even got, like, I don't know, contacts saved up for a few years or something like that. So yeah, this is I wouldn't say it's a poor man's choice. I would not say that. However, I will say it's a decent shield. It's a good shield. But for me, I would rather just go with like a Phoenix and then live with the fires or the Firestorm proc than using Hail the Sacred Room even. I would go as far as doing that. I would even just maybe just deal with Exile on all the time instead of Hail the Sacred Room. This is again a personal choice. I'm not gonna talk about X and Y is better. This really has to come from yourself. What do you define as the best shield? I'm showing you some options here. You have to make the final call. I'm gonna go over this one because I can. This is Heriator, this is offline. I can fuck around and have some fun with a crazy shield like this one that cost, you know, as much as what do I know, 100,000 FG. The thread was 80,000 FG. So yeah, this is fun for me. But personally, I would rather just go with Phoenix over Hail the Sacred Room. Even if the Hail the Sacred Room is pretty good, it is a good shield for sure. But yeah, for some reason I don't really like it. Yeah, but that's pretty much it for the gear changes. You know, there's not much has been changed still. Person also suggested using Death Runewood. I agree, Death Runewood is amazing. I actually used it on a Whirlwind Barb guide, or was it my Frenzy guide way back then. The stats are amazing, but Grief, I was googling a little about this, you know, kind of understanding a little more about why do everyone choose Grief. I think the conclusion was that the max damage and the minimum damage or something like is like 400. So instead of it being one-handed damage 35 to 40, it's 400. It's so good high consistent damage. There is just, yeah, Grief is just, you know, you can Google around for this yourself why everyone chooses Grief and get to know a little more about that. But again, it's up to yourself again, because it's hard to tell. You know, we need to do some kind of calculations, run 10,000 runs of the same target and see the average kill speed or something to even just kind of know if Death, Rune Void or Grief, what would be the best choice. But that's pretty much it for all the gear changes. So let's move on with some player's aid without lifetap, and let's see how this one will go. I am pretty skeptical, but let's try. So let's go for this. The problem is gonna be undeads. If I'm facing souls plus undead, maybe something else on top of that as a third option, it's gonna be very hard. I really cannot deal with you know, undeads because I can't leech from them. But I think the other normal trash mobs are gonna be no problem. Like this pack here is not dangerous at all, as long as I can maybe just get a leech soon. Like, take this pack here, I'm not gonna be able to kill that. Like, fuck that. I don't have any way to leech, there's too many undeads. That is just an issue, because, you know, this is Zealot, there's gonna be a lot of undeads. And yeah, we really need lifetap for a situation or a pack like that one, which is pretty common, I would think. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to skip it. I'm not even gonna try and kill it, there's no point. It's simply too hard when I have to deal with undeads. Let's try a pack here. Definitely not gonna be easy, but maybe we can do it. Ah, it's too painful. Dealing with you know, immune to physical, it would be doable if the Reaver's Toll would just proc a little bit faster. Yeah, it's just it's hard. It's pretty freaking yeah, damn. So new game, simply had to quit that one. Could not get my corpse. And honestly, I edited way too much already. I've been through this situation 2 times now where I had to re-roll the map because my corpse just got stuck. It's very hard dealing with, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say it's impossible, but undeads are just a pain when I can't leech. And then physical immunities on top of that. So let's try this pack up here as well. Should be no problem, but yeah, let's see about it. Yeah, okay, that's nice. Such a big pack, you know, Doom Knights are not really the easiest mob to kill. So, a nasty pack here, a lot of souls. See if we can handle that. And yeah, it was not that hard. Many souls in this thrones room here. Let's try it. Simply gonna have to go behind a pillar or something to get them in position. Let's see if we can't tailor stomp them or something. Just try to track them out. Like, this is fair enough. This is gonna hurt even if you're stacking a few lightning assaults or whatever. Even the merchant can't live through this. Wave 1. Wave 2. So, a lot of undeads. Let's see if we can do this one. I'm just gonna try get this Agmel down first. There's a soul coming up. I didn't really clear the room that good. This is just... yeah. Let's go again. Stupid that I didn't clear the room properly, but this is actually pretty nice. Wave 2 with like 2 or 3 souls mixed. This is where the cannot be frozen would be an option. You know, you can go with a charm room in your helm if you wanted to. That's definitely a thing you should consider. Wave 3. Ah, that's just nice to see. And the Mercy 10 can easily survive with Fate proc. But let's go back and get some life potions. Wave 4. Like, this is just the optimal pack. This is so easy for this build. They come to you, they bunch up together, great leech, etc. You can kill demons all day long. Wave 5. So let's try this one. I'm, a max block, etc. It should be doable. Yeah, this is going surprisingly well. The Mercy Chant is only taking one-on-one, so I was having the brunt of all the mobs hitting me. That was a good thing as well. Yeah, this is a good success, I would say. So I think we can make kind of conclusion now that undead plus elemental damage is no go. A few specific packs, like a lot of elemental damage, and yeah, they're kind of spread out or something like that. That is also gotta be an issue. But let's try out Bailout just for the fun of it. Let's get the Mercy Chant helping me as well. God, look at that damage, goes fast. It's definitely nice to see. I am quite confident in that damage. It slowed a bit down now. Almost there, and it's nice to see that I'm surviving. There's a lot of tentacles around and Bale is doing his thing, but I'm staying up. I have to use a bit of a mana potion now and then because of the mana drain and so forth, but it's not that bad. And there you go. So that's pretty much it for the part 2 and hopefully the last part of this build here. Yeah, I honestly just want to use my exile shields. In the recording of this gameplay I had to restart like 2 or 3 times just because I lost my corpse, so I ditched a lot of the recordings and whatnot. Just trying to find a few clips, a few packs and whatnot. I had one really good pack that I actually did scratch because I just thought it didn't really work out, the recording. I was kind of surrounded. I was probably like 30 mobs or something, and they were all just kind of melee, but a few undeads, and I was still able to do that. So if you have a leech target, if you're able to kind of get consistent melee damage going, it's actually quite good survival, which I guess I can also just try to find a little bit of a show here at the end. I can also just quickly show you the Warhammer here. It's just the iron stone, yeah, it's not that important. And let's just see how fast this one goes. It's just nice to see that, an optimal pack like this one would just be no problem to kill. So let's try a pack like up here. This is a pretty hard pull, I would say. Definitely high density. So let's see if it can survive something like this. Pretty nasty, I would say. I would definitely be scared even on +1, I would think. But yeah, you see, when I am just able to leech, if I'm not missing targets, it's just consistent drain of life. It's just, it works out that good. The damage is a little bit slow, obviously, on +8, but I'm still able to kill it. It's pretty good. Maybe 2 or 3 shotting most mobs. But that's pretty much it. The part 2 is over. Definitely fun to kind of run around with a crazy rare shield and stuff like that. It was actually even hard to find an example that was good enough to kind of warrant the part 2. I think this shield is, there's probably better rolls out there, I guess, but this one is definitely pretty insane. But yeah, it will also have to be pretty insane to beat out a Hailed Sacred Room or render like an Exile or Phoenix Knot as the better choice. But yeah, don't want to make it that much longer. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.